Welcome, Carnage Cravers, to the Thursday Throwdown. We are going to every Thursday we are going to talk about the week and the week's happening in pro wrestling. Um, Here's what we're going to do. We're going to start with Monday. We're going to start with Monday Night Raw. All right, we started Monday Night Raw off with Roman Reigns coming out to profess what his plans were for SummerSlam, and surprise, surprise, he plans on challenging for the Universal title, no matter who is champion. He Roman Reigns made his disrespect of Samoa Joe known, which prompted Joe to come out, and they had a little throwdown of their own. You know, breaking it off with neither man being shown to be inferior to the other. Um, and then, of course, Finn Balor had a match against Bo Dallas, a very dominating match. You know, as we would expect Finn Balor to have against Bo Dallas. Let's see. Seth Rollins came out and gave a corny ass promo, concerning second chances and really kissing up to the fans. Oh, and this is all to promote the fact that he's on the cover of the 2K18 video game. Bray interrupted Seth, speaking in riddles as Bray normally does. Uh, and when Bray actually came out, this was, it took me a second to figure out what had actually happened because Seth, out of nowhere, dives down onto Bray Wyatt, and his head hits Bray, and then all of a sudden Seth has this cut on his cheek, and when you go back and you look at it again, it looks like Bray Wyatt's straw fedora cap cut Rollins' cheek open, which is, it's kind of funny when you think about it. I mean, you got cut, you get the hat cut your face, but so in either case, they had Samoa Joe and Roman Reigns had a great match that night. They had a great match. I would not mind seeing these two go at it again. My only problem is they gave it away for free. I mean, come on, that's a pay per view quality match. It's I don't know. You can build so much more anticipation if you tease it and tease it and tease it, and you don't just give it to them. You know what I mean? It's give us a little, leave us chomping at the bit, wanting to see Roman versus Joe. We've seen it. Now we're at the point now where we've seen it. So, that being said, excuse me, Braun Strowman returned and caused a distraction. So they were able to have Roman lose the match without making it a clean loss, which, I mean, I can understand why they did that. It's, because Joe still seems, Joe was opportunistic, but he still seems dominant. It still shows off just how devastating the Coquina clutch is. So, it all works out. Braun challenged Roman to an ambulance match at Great Balls of Fire. I'm going to take the moment now to talk about Great Balls of Fire. Must be the stupidest name for a pay-per-view I've ever heard in my life. I do not know why that is the name of the next Raw pay-per-view. Why? Anyways, back to the matter at hand. The Miz. We had a backstage segment where the Miz was trying to get Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel to join his entourage, and which would later segue into a Miz TV segment. Which, as much as I like Miz, it was kind of boring because it really just focused on him begging for his wife's forgiveness, which I don't care. I don't give a damn. Sorry. But aside from that, Ambrose comes out, screws everything, which makes Miz screw everything up. And then, of course, Ambrose gets attacked by the two dancing bears, which turn out to be Bo Dallas and Axel and Curtis Axel. So, hey, the great thing, the greatest part of last night probably was, last night of Monday night probably was the fact that they broke up Enzo and Cass, which is a fantastic thing for both of those competitors, because this will allow Cass to move on to eventually to move on and chase after singles opportunities, and it will also create singles opportunities for Enzo if Enzo does the smart thing and moves himself to the cruiserweight division and goes after the cruiserweight title. Because, I mean, let's be honest. How many matches have we ever seen Enzo win? You know, he needs to go to the cruiserweight division in order for it to be believable for him to win. Because they've never had him win. Of course, he's never needed to win because of the fact that he has his shtick. And then, of course, he had Big Cass behind him. But Big Cass is all done with that. So, this should definitely be interesting going forward. Neither one of the competitors is going to be ruined by this, because Big Cass is charismatic enough, and he's got the size and the speed and the look, and he will, I've said it before, but Big Cass kind of reminds me of, I'll compare him to Kevin Nash a little bit. Something about him, it reminds me a bit of Kevin Nash. So Big Cass will do fine, as long as he doesn't make any detrimental mistakes. Now, as far as Enzo, Enzo could never win a match, and he'd still be over because the fans are so in love with the shtick that he does. So it'll be interesting to see where they go from there. And that was what closed up Raw. Now, on Tuesday night, we had SmackDown. So I've got some notes here. First off, SmackDown opened up with Carmella coming out and cutting a promo. Might be the best promo Carmella's ever cut. And, she's talking about how, she's Miss Money in the Bank and they didn't break any rules and yada, 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 yada. Okay? And there's nothing wrong with that because it's absolutely true. Technically, there's no rule against what happened. So, and of course, then Daniel Bryan's back. So, Charlotte's the first of the other women from the Money in the Bank ladder match to go and whine to Daniel Bryan, which I kind of don't like that they did that because, again, you expect whining out of competitors like the Harts. You don't normally expect whining out of the Flairs. I don't think I really ever remember Ric Flair whining at any point, but I guess Charlotte decided she wanted to whine. Then we moved into the New Day promo before their match. I have an issue with this. I have an issue with the New Day. New Day's gimmick is inappropriate. Okay, they do and say things that are very inappropriate if we're going to analyze the PG era. Okay? You can't do, either we're going PG or we're not going PG. Okay? If you're going PG, then nobody should be allowed to do the hip gyrations or make dick jokes or anything. No, that's not PG. That is not TV PG, guys. Okay? And if they're going to be allowed to do it, they shouldn't be the only ones who are allowed to do it. You can't chop the ungats off of all the other competitors and then tell these guys, oh no, you can do it, it's okay. It's not right. So, that being said, and I will also say this, think about this. If we had three female competitors coming out behaving as they are, first off, the censors would riot. The censors would have a fit, okay, and USA would be complaining about the exploitation of women. So what? Because it's guys, it's okay? Come on, where's the double standard stop? It's a little ridiculous, okay? Moving forward, okay, uh, Big E beats Jimmy Uso. I don't know, kind of BS. Um, like I said, I have an issue with the New Day. I don't know where the idea came that New Day is supposed to be the good guys. Uh, I don't think I've seen. I can't remember the last time I saw New Day win a match clean. Okay, I can't remember the last time the New Day won a match without Xavier Woods getting involved from the outside in some way. Okay, even this, Xavier Woods got involved. He made the distraction. It's, and again, it's, maybe it's not against the rules. We can go back to the Carmella thing. Maybe it's not against the rules, but it's not babyface behavior. That's the thing. Do I expect behavior like that out of Carmella and James Ellsworth? Yeah, you bet your ass I do. They're bad guys. But if you're gonna tell me New Day is the good guys, I'm gonna ask you why they can't win clean. So, anyways, from there, go ahead and move on. Then we have Natalya and Tamina come out and well, they didn't come out. They found Daniel Bryan in the back and they whine and they beg and they more crap. Okay. Naomi has an interview and Lana interrupts it and yeah, it's standard interview interruption type crap. And Lana's trying to get a rematch. And this is where I think WWE could really benefit from making themselves more realistic. Because I'm sorry, but realistically, a champion is not going to turn to the person that they beat, okay, to retain their title and say, oh, you know what? I'm going to give you another shot. Okay? They're going to tell them back of the line, I already beat you, back of the line. That's what actual competitors are going to say. They're not going to just hand somebody another shot when they couldn't get the job done the first time. But that's exactly what Naomi did. And it's unrealistic. It's ridiculous. So that's happening next week on SmackDown Live. Is Naomi's going to defend against Lana? All right. We had a interview segment pre-recorded with Randy Orton. It was, Randy is hit or miss on his promos. A lot of times when Randy tries to give off that slow burning fire type of anger in his promo, he just comes off like he's detached and doesn't care. So it was we moved from there into Shinsuke Nakamura versus Dolph Ziggler for the first time on regular TV, and surprise, surprise, Ziggler does the job as he should. Okay, if they had Dolph Ziggler beat Shinsuke, I just, they didn't. That's all that matters. Okay, moving on from there, and this was disappointing because they even had Becky Lynch whine to Daniel Bryan, and you expect better out of the baby faces than to go around whining and crying and complaining. Okay. Kevin Owens came out and did the KO Open Challenge. Uh, AJ comes out to try and accept the challenge, and Kevin Owens is, very quickly saying, "No, no, no! It's got to be somebody from Dayton, Ohio. Got to be somebody from here." And they were in Dayton, and and then of course, Chad Gable comes out and says he just moved to Dayton that morning, and I don't know why they didn't bring out Cassie Soto, who actually is from Dayton, Ohio, but neither here nor there. So Gable had a match with Owens for the U.S. title, and holy crap, I was so impressed with Gable. I mean, he did this one impressive multiple suplex bridging maneuver, happened so fast. I don't even know what the hell to call that thing. And he did it with Kevin Owens, who is not a lightweight, and it was just I was very 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 impressed. Apparently, Chad Gable, a former Olympian, which I was not aware of. I don't think he won the gold medal. I don't think he won the gold medal with a broken frickin' neck, but he's still very very impressive. But Owens still wins. So and then of course Daniel Bryan comes out, and Daniel starts to explain the situation and whatnot, and Elmsworth decides to open his mouth and says some disparaging remarks about Daniel's lifestyle, and he mentions Daniel's new daughter, and and then Daniel, in true Daniel Bryan fashion, being the power abusing Gestapo that he is as general manager, he loses his cool and threatens the talent. This is not something you can do when you're the boss. You cannot look at your talent and say, "I'm going to punch you in the face," and then fire you. That's not professional. And it doesn't matter if the employee is being unprofessional. You have to be, because you're the boss. So, and again, then all the women start talking over each other. I hate it when they do group promo sections with the female competitors, because here's the thing: only half of them can talk. Only half of them can give a decent promo, and the other ones kind of fall flat. And when they just start talking over each other, it's like, dear God, shut up. I have like flashbacks to when I still lived with my parents, the oldest 12 kids. So and all my sisters freaking hollering, screaming over each other, just gives me a headache. Anyways, moving on. Daniel Bryan decided that he was going to strip Carmella of the Money in the Bank briefcase. This is a blatant abuse of power. You cannot stand there and say, "There's no rules against what you did, but I'm still going to take this away from you because I don't like you." Like, what the fuck? It's sickening to think about, but think about all the times that we have seen authority figures break the rules and make allowances to help the heel characters, okay? And everybody gets mad about it, okay? But now we have a general manager who's doing these same things, okay, to help the babyface characters or to work against the heel characters, and everybody's happy. That's not fair. That's not sportsmanlike. Okay? You're supposed to be impartial when you're the boss. Daniel Bryan, even though you might like the fact that you might like who he's giving breaks to, it still doesn't change the fact that he's just as much abusing his power as a Stephanie McMahon is. There's no difference as far as I'm concerned. Okay? Bryan started out with The Miz. He doesn't like Miz. He made that perfectly clear. Okay? And he made Miz's life difficult because of it. Does that sound like a babyface general manager to you? Doesn't sound like one to me. So, anyways, moving on from there, Bryan announced that next week on SmackDown they will redo the the women's Money in the Bank ladder match. So, next week on SmackDown, it's kind of like they're redoing an entire half of the Money in the Bank pay-per-view, because Lana against Naomi again, Money in the Bank ladder match, women's Money in the Bank ladder match again. You know, I don't know. I'm not sure what they're thinking here. I do know this, though. Daniel Bryan displayed a massive abuse of power, and it's not okay. It's not okay. All right, we move into the main event there. Jinder Mahal versus Luke Harper. A decent match, good match. Luke Harper always seems to have good matches. You know, I'm not crazy about Jinder Mahal. I'm still waiting to watch him shrivel up like a raisin once he gets off the juice. But it was a great moment. Baron Corbin teased a cash in. His music hits. He comes out with the briefcase, just basically walks around the ring talking shit to Jinder and goes back in the back. The distraction was not enough to get Harper the win, though. Mahal still won, and then Orton came out and attacked Jinder and the Sings, and Jinder eventually managed to escape because Orton was busy with the Sings, and Orton pretty much just destroyed the Singh brothers. And so Orton has said that now it's personal. That old cliche. But anyways, that was how they closed out SmackDown. Now NXT, which, truth be told, I'm putting forth an effort to see more of NXT because I've missed a lot of it over the last year, which is unfortunate because NXT always puts on a great show. So, but anyways, NXT opened with a match. I love it when they open with a match. Like, it's this crazy idea that maybe wrestling fans actually want to see wrestling. Holy shit, who'd have thunk it, man? Alright, so anyways, Peyton Royce versus Amber Moon. Good match. I was impressed with Peyton Royce because, you know, at first glance, you might assume that, you know, this is just some, like, you know, her character's kind of like this ditzy chick. But she's very, very, very good in the ring. But I was especially impressed with Amber Moon. She's great technically, got a little bit of high flying in there, a little striking in there, and the Eclipse that I don't even know, that's like she does like a backflip into a freaking stunner. She calls it the Eclipse. What a move. That thing looks fantastic. I mean, a lot like a regular stunner and a lot of other moves, you know, the real show in the move is how it gets sold. So, you know, I'll give credit to Peyton Royce because she sold the shit out of that move. But, yeah, it's quite a move. I'm looking forward to seeing more of both Peyton Royce and Amber Moon. Excuse me. Okay, so, and then of course we went into the Ely brothers versus Sanity. Sanity, of course, being Alexander Wolf and Eric Young. And of course, Sanity won this match. The Ely brothers, they seem to be very athletic. They seem to be well trained. There's something missing for them. They need something. I can't quite put my finger on it, but they need something. As for Sanity, I don't know. I'd wager to say they could, at least Eric Young could make the trek on up to the WWE roster, whether it be Raw or SmackDown. Actually, I wouldn't mind seeing Eric Young and Bray Wyatt. So why don't you move Eric over to Raw and let the two crazies fight it out? But in either case, it was announced that next week on NXT, we will see Nikki Cross of Sanity versus Asuka for the NXT Women's Championship in a last woman standing match. That's gonna be a frickin' war. I can't wait to see that one. That's great. I'm a big Asuka fan, and from what I have seen of Nikki Cross, I like her. She's a great competitor. Her character is like. So I look forward to that match. I'm very much looking forward to that match. Then we went into Rachel Evers versus Sonya Deville. Uh, Sonya Deville, they showed a little. They showed a package on her before the match, so I kind of figured she was gonna win, which she did. But she was impressive. A lot of striking, a lot of mixed martial arts in her style, and I was impressed. I was impressed. I'm gonna be keeping a closer eye on her in the future because she could be a possible real challenge for say an Asuka, if she continues to improve. So definitely one to look out for is Sonya Deville. Then they did the backstage brawl kind of thing with Strong and Rude. And it was announced that next week on NXT we will have an NXT title match between Roderick Strong and Bobby Roode. So they're doing their setup now. I like what they did here because even though Bobby Roode, the champion, mind you, is not in action on this show, okay, he at least had a presence. The people writing Monday Night Raw might want to learn a thing or two from this, seeing as how it took 2 freaking months for their champion to rear his head after WrestleMania. Goddamn, Brock, did you finally see your fucking shadow? Okay, sorry. I'm cool. Moving into the main event of the evening, it was Cassius Ohno versus Aleister Black. I'm mildly impressed with Cassius Ohno. He's very athletic for a guy his size, but holy crap, Aleister Black blew me away. That guy is so good. I was super impressed with Black. Black won the match, obviously. He's still undefeated on NXT. And I tell you what I'd like to see. I tell you what I'd love to see is Aleister Black versus Finn Balor. That's a match to watch. And of course that was the main event was Ohno versus Black, and Black won. I already went over that. Moving to 205 Live. 205 Live opened up with a little backstage segment. Rich Swann there, and Akio Tozawa. I think I'm saying his name wrong. Anyways, they were having a little conversation there, and they get interrupted by Titus O'Neil. He was trying to get Tozawa to join the Titus brand. This Titus brand bullshit is just that. It's bullshit. I'm done with Titus O'Neil. Just goodbye. Moving into the opening match, we had Jack Gallagher versus Tony Nese, and Nese won the match. Little underhandedly, he tricked Gallagher or whatnot, but he still won the match. But I will say this: I love watching Jack Gallagher work. The guy is so good. I enjoy watching his matches, because there's that little bit of comedy in there, but you can't look at the guy like he's a joke, even though he's got rainbow colored trunks, is liquid paper white, and carries around an umbrella that he named William III. You still better not take him lightly. So it's I like watching the guys work. Then we had a stupid backstage segment with Alicia Fox on a phone with Noam Dar, and Cedric Alexander comes in. This is filler. This is bullshit. Nobody gives a flying fuck about this soap opera bullshit. Then we had Mustafa Ali versus Drew Gulak, and this was a good match. This was a great match. Ali won the match, but Drew Gulak, his style of wrestling, fantastic. I love the mat based technical ground and pound submissions and whatnot. I've never been a big fan of the high flying BS because I mean let's be honest, it only works from a showmanship standpoint. in an actual fight, you're not going to try and do a 450 splash. Okay, I mean, you could try. I don't think it's going to work out for you. So like I've never been a big fan of the high flying crap. But Drew Gulak's got a grounded. I almost want to compare him to a Dean Malenko. He's not quite as good as Dean Malenko. Dean was a freaking prodigy, but the kid's good, and I enjoyed his match, and I want to see more of him in the future for sure. Um, Now, then we had a nice little backstage segment, real quick, with Gallagher and Aries deciding to have an alliance. And it's always funny because Gallagher speaks in very very proper English, and Austin Aries is kind of like he's like a real laid back kind of. Yeah, it was entertaining, mildly entertaining, I will say. And I don't know why the hell Austin Aries is always eating a damn banana when he's in a backstage segment. I don't know what the hell that's about. But and then of course we moved into our main event, which was Neville versus Rich Swann. This was a great match. Very good. Rich Swann's athleticism is very impressive, but Neville's ferocity and intensity has just made him one to watch in the last few months for sure, especially since winning the cruiserweight title. He's just been on a tear, and I'm enjoying it. I'm really enjoying Neville's work, so I look forward to seeing more of that. So that is it for this week in pro wrestling. If you're looking for me to cover TNA or Ring of Honor, I'm sorry guys, I don't get those channels. So WWE is what I'm covering at this point in time. If I ever get around to changing my cable package, then maybe we can talk about the others. But so this is where we're at, and all in all, it was a decent week in pro wrestling, and I'm looking forward to next week. We got a lot of title matches next week if you stop to think about it, because we got a lot of important matches, because we got the next week we got the SmackDown Women's title match, we got the SmackDown Women's Money in the Bank ladder match. On NXT we got 2 title matches going off, and to make matters even better, next week supposedly we're going to see Brock Lesnar again on Monday Night Raw. I'm personally hoping to see him get locked in the Coquina Clutch, but we'll see what happens. So this is it for this Thursday Throwdown. I am Ken Carnage, and remember, until next time, Carnage right around the corner.